So today's video I'm going to again discuss some new words in the context of scholarly work and technical writing. And you can use some of these words to express yourself in a more diverse manner compared to the use of regular simple language. So let's start with the word mitigate. So mitigate means to make something less severe, serious or painful. So if something is somewhat bad, when you mitigate it, you essentially make it less bad. So again, this can be used as a better word in place of the word reduce, which you typically use often in technical writing. So for example, we could say that damping mitigates vibration in structures. So instead of using the word reduce here, say damping reduces vibration in structures, you use the word mitigate, which essentially captures the fact that vibration is not a good thing to have in structures. And by mitigating this effect, you are actually making it less severe or painful, which exactly matches the definition of the word mitigate. Now look at the word belligerent. So belligerent is somebody who is hostile and pugnacious and prone to fighting in a metaphorical sense or even in an actual sense. So we can frame a sentence with this, but let us introduce one more word before we do that. So that word is vituperative. Vituperative means bitter and abusive. One more word is reprimand, and reprimand is a formal expression of disapproval. So reprimand is slightly less intense than the word scold somebody, and it's used in a more formal setting. So while a parent may scold his or her child, you typically reprimand somebody who works in a formal setting. So a boss may reprimand somebody who works for him. So now let us create a sentence with these three words: belligerent, vituperative and reprimand. So the sentence I created is: the session chair reprimanded the belligerent professor for his vituperative comments on the speaker. So sometime it can happen in a conference that a professor or a researcher gets up and really lambasts a speaker based on his or her presentation, and the speaker may be a graduate student or a new researcher, and this is not an appropriate thing to do. And one of the roles of the session chair is to moderate this discussion and to make this particular exchange less personal and less vituperative. So again, we want to keep all the interaction at a diplomatic and business-like level whenever we are taking part in conferences. So that's a good use of some of these words. So now we have one more new word. I think I have used it several times though. It is predilection. So predilection is a bias in favor of something. So essentially, this is often something which people have, is that they have a subtle bias towards something, and even they may not be conscious of this particular bias. One more word is prevaricate, and prevaricate is to speak or act in an evasive manner. So let's create a sentence with prevaricate and predilection. So I created a sentence like this: my PhD supervisor displays a predilection to prevaricate whenever I bring up the topic about my PhD graduation date. So again, this is something which can happen. Now one more word is copious, and copious is something which means an abundant in supply or quantity. So basically you have a large quantity of something, you can say it is copious. One more word I have is proclivity, which is a tendency to choose or do something regularly. So this is similar to the word predilection, which is essentially a bias favoring something, and proclivity is also a tendency to choose a certain path for your actions. So now let us create some sentences based on these words. So here is one sentence which uses prevaricate. So we can say that Reddy's paper prevaricates on the best method to use for uncertainty quantification. He points out the strengths and shortcomings of the different methods without giving any conclusions on their performance. So again, this is a word which you can use in the context of technical writing to refer to somebody who discusses both sides of a certain issue and does not really settle on any particular conclusion on the topic. So essentially what the person is doing is that he's prevaricating. So one more sentence I have here is, selection committees have a predilection towards giving prizes to prolific scientists with copious publications. One should look at the citations of the scientists and solicit the views of experts in the subject in the field, so as not to fall for the proclivity of favoring prolific paper writers. So again, this is something which can happen, and many committees can display a proclivity toward favoring people with copious publication records. And again, to avoid this, you need to be dispassionate in the manner and look at a rational way of judging the work of people, which includes not just looking at the number of papers they have published, but also the citations these papers have made in the field, and also what do the experts in the field tell about the particular papers concerned. Now, word similar to mitigate is alleviate, and this is to make suffering, deficiency, or a problem less severe. So again, this is very similar to mitigate, and you can use it in place of mitigate in different places. So I can create a sentence with this, something like follows. When we add damping to the numerical method, such as the Newton-Raphson method, the convergence problems are alleviated. So again, this is something which you can consider. A similar word is ameliorate, and this basically means make something bad or unsatisfactory better. So essentially this also is similar to mitigate in some ways. So we can create a sentence with this, but before we do that, let me define one more word, that is subterfuge. And subterfuge basically means deceit used to achieve one's goal. So basically subterfuge would involve doing something not very proper to achieve one's goal. But we can use it in a somewhat better manner in this particular formulation which I have created. A simple numerical subterfuge of replacing the singular matrix by a unit matrix can sometime ameliorate convergence problems in numerical methods. So again, this is a possible use of this particular word. So again, these are some words which are widely used in the English language in actual literature, journalism, non-fiction, and so on. But I also pointed out various situations where you can use these words in technical writing and in the context of scholarship, conferences, and so on. So I hope this was useful for you in terms of diversifying your writing and again writing things out in your own words and beautifying your language in some ways. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you very much for watching it, and stay tuned to my channel.